Guys, you're welcome to the channel, and in today's video we'll be drafting this short beautiful gown that you see my client rocking in the video. So without much ado, let's delve straight.
So I'll be using 3 yards of this fabric. Is a stretchy fabric, so I'll be making use of 3 yards of the fabric. So now let's go straight into the tutorial, guys. This is for my back, so I'm going to draw a margin line of 1 inch here. I will show you guys why this margin line is so. Okay, so I'm drawing a margin line of of 1 inch. So I'm going to be drawing it all the way down. Okay, so I'll make a line all the way down. So after drawing this margin line, the next thing, so this is where our measurement will start from. This is our center back line. We are drafting the back first before we draft the front. So now I'll also create a margin line at the top here. Okay, so I'll create a margin line of 1 inch at the top here. I'm making use of this chalk so that you can actually see how the line. So first thing first, I'm going to be imputing the neck measurement. So I'm making use of a neck width of 3 inches. Okay, 3 inches by 3 inches for the back. So 3 inches by 3 inches for the back, and I'm making use of a shoulder of. I hope you can see what I'm doing. And I'm making use of shoulder of 15 inches. So 15 divided by 2 is 7.5 inches. Okay, is 7.5 inches. Okay, so you are going down by 1 inch for your shoulder. So remember, our shoulder is not straight, so I'm going to be connecting it this way. Okay, so the next thing is for us to place our armhole measurement. The armhole I'm working with is armhole of 16 inches. So 16 divided by 2 is 8 inches. Okay, but because I'm working with a stretchy fabric, I'm going to be removing one half inch from the 8 inches, so I'm going to be using 7.5. So I mark my 7.5 from this shoulder slope line. Okay, so I mark the 7.5. Then I want to have a straight line, so I'll just take it up here. That is 8.5. Okay, so I hope you understand what I'm doing. 8.5. Then I'm going to roll the line. Then the length of my top, that we are cutting a half scale bodice before we cut the skirt part of it. So the length of the from my shoulder to waistline is 17 inches. But guys, I'm going to be altering this back length because our front length is longer than the back length. Okay, so in as much as we are using the freehand method, there is a way that you can actually alter it to get a perfect fit. Okay, so my shoulder to waist is 17 inches, so I'll be adding the 17 inches all the way. Okay, then I'll connect it. So that is that. So the next thing that we are going to do is to the same 7.5 that we took out here. Okay, we're also going to be imputing the 7.5 on our armhole length. We took the measurement here to here as our armhole length, so we'll take the same 7.5 here. So after taking the same 7.5 here, I'm going to be connecting, ruling a straight line. Okay, then you divide this part. Just like the way we did in our basic bodies. Divide this part and go in by 0.5. Okay, then you're going to be connecting it this way. I hope you understand that. So after doing that, the next thing that you do is to impute your bust measurement. So the bust I'm working with is 37 divided by 4, which is 9.25. I don't really have allowance here, but it's okay. I'm working with a stretchy fabric, so I'll just make do with half inch sewing allowance, guys. So if you are working with a non-stretchy fabric, or if you don't know how to deal with how you don't know how to sew your fabric, please guys, make sure that you add like 1 inch to it or 2 inches. Okay, so that you not run short of fiber. I'm sure of this measurement, so that is why I'm adding just half inch to it. Okay, so I'll go to my waist measurement here. My waist divided by 4. Okay, waist divided by 4 is 7.25. So 7.25, I will also add half inch. Now I want you guys to listen to this. Now there is what is known as back tightening. Okay, back tightening, so that it will help to reduce any form of bulge at your back. I've explained that in my half scale bodice pattern. So because of the back tightening that we are going to be having here, I'm going to be doing a back tightening of 1 inch. Okay, so that 1 inch, now I'm going to be adding the 1 inch here because I'm going to be taking it away. I hope you understand that. So now what we are going to do next is through here. So now let me explain this again. Now what I did is this. What I did is this. You know our back is not straight this way, okay? Let me bring it down. You know our back line is not straight this way. It's a little kind of, the inside is a little, is the back, and the waistline is a little kind of inside. So what I did is this. I don't want to see any form of bulge, or I want to prevent any form of bulge, that is your zipper bulging out at the back of my dress. So there is what is known as a back tightening. So I want to remove 1 inch from the waistline, that is from the center waistline, to eliminate or to prevent any form of back tightening. So I'm not going to be doing that now, but I'm going to be adding the 1 inch, because the rule is that once you take out any inches from your measurement, you have to replace it back. Okay, so I've already replaced it back here. I hope you understand that. So I'm going to be cutting out, I'll just connect it this way. So I'm going to be cutting out this now, place this on my front before I can impute my back tightening. So let me cut it now out now. Then I'll show you guys some little alterations on this. So guys, I'm going to be adding 1/2 inch here. I like adding my allowance this way. I'm going to be adding 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here. Okay, then 1/2 inch here. That is for sewing our sleeve. Sorry, 1/2 inch here for sewing our sleeve. Then we can now cut out. Then 1/2 inch here for the joining. But I'll show you guys, we need to make a little alteration here. So I'll show you guys how the alteration is done for the joining. Then I'm going to be cutting it. So guys, I'm going to be placing this on our front now to get our front piece. Okay guys, I've placed the back on my front. Okay, so after placing the back on my front, I folded in the zipper allowance. Okay, I folded the zipper allowance, which is what you are seeing here. So what I've did next is I left a margin line of 4.5 inches. That is, the front is going to be overlapped. So I left a margin line of 4.5 inches all the way down, and I traced out this side. So now what you're going to do next is this. The neck depth I'm working with for the front is 6.5 inches. Okay, so which I have taken here, 6.5 inches. That is from the shoulder line here, 6.5 inches. I don't want it to reveal much cleavage. Okay, so after doing this now, I want to have a little pleat at the shoulder line. Okay, at the shoulder line, that is for the front. So I added 1.5 inches at the shoulder line here. That is from this tip here to this side, 1.5 inches. So I'm going to be connecting this 1.5 inches all the way now. So watch me as I do that. Connect it this way. Okay, which is what I have just done. Okay, now you just roll this line. We don't need any, you just roll it this way. Okay, then this point here, at this point here, you're going to be connecting from this shoulder line here, from this point here to this neck depth here. So let me do that so that you see. So I'll connect from here to the shoulder line. So I'm going to be connecting from here to this point. Now at the waistline, I'm going to be going up by 1 inch. The waistline, I'm going to be going up by 1 inch here. Then I'm going to be connecting it this way. Okay, I hope you see what I'm doing. So I'm going to be connecting from here to this 1 inch line that I created. Okay, so I'll just connect it like so. So our front is almost ready. So this is what I did. So now let me explain again so that you not get confused. Let me explain again. Now I want to have a little plate at the top, at the shoulder line. So that is for the front. So I added 1.5 inches. You can also add 2 inches. Then I connected it to this point. Okay. Now after doing that, I marked the neck depth. I'm using a neck depth of 6.5, which is what I did here. So I marked the neck depth at the main center line. That is for the back here. Then I connected it. I shifted this and I connected it from here to this point all the way here. That is, I went up here by 1 inch. Okay, so that is that for the front. Now you will mark out this point. Okay, I'm going to be marking out this point here. I'm going to be marking it because the waist measurement for the back, we added extra 1 inch for back tightening. So that means the back is going to be bigger than the front. So what I'm going to do next is, this is the waistline for the back. So I'm going to be removing, we are done with this. So I'm going to be removing this and I'm keeping it aside. Then we'll remeasure the waistline here. So the waist I'm working with is 7.25, 7.5. So 7.25. Okay, the waist I'm working with is 7.25. You can see that we have excess here. So 7.25 Then we're adding half inch sewing allowance. For this is a stretchy fabric, so I'm not adding that to it. Okay, so I'm going to be connecting it all the way like so. Then we are ready to cut out. Next is this what I'm about to do is optional. If you like, you do it. If you don't like, you leave it like that. So at this point here, okay, I'm going to be going in by 1 inch at the front part. I'm going to be going in by 1 inch. Okay, I'll go in by 1 inch and I would connect it this way. I want to match it with the front, with the back. You know, the back length is shorter than the front length. Okay, so but for if using freehand, I just want to like implement that. Like I say, what I'm doing is optional. Okay, so that is that. Now I'll bring the back and do the same thing. Remember, I told us that there's going to be an alteration on the back. Okay, so I'll bring the back now. At this point here, At this point here, I'm going to go up by 1 inch. Remember, we've added our joining allowance to it. I'm going to be going up by 1 inch. Now, at this point, I'm going to be going up by 1.5 inch. Like I said, if you like, you do. If you like, you don't do it. But I just want to do this because the front part is longer than the back part. So I want to make sure that everything is equal. Okay. So I'm going to be connecting the line this way. So here I went up by 1.5 and here I went up by 1 inch. So what I'm going to do next is to now the back tightening that we did, 1 inch back tightening. Okay, so I'm going to be connecting it like so. I've already added that allowance to it, so I'm going to be connecting it this way. Okay, then if I measure it now, okay, it's giving us what we want. So I'll add my zipper. I'm adding 1 inch zipper allowance to it. If you like, you can add half. So we are done with the upper part. So now let's match it and see whether it's equal or not. So you can see that the front part and the back part is equal. So we'll now keep this aside. Okay, guys, for the skirt part now, how do we determine the skirt part? What I did is this. You know, the front length that we are working with is 17 inches. Okay, so and the gown length that I'm working with is 39 inches. So you're going to be deducting the 17 inches from 39. Okay, so when you remove 17 from 39, we have 22 inches. So what I did is I added 2 inches extra allowance to the. So guys, I'm gonna be cutting the front part of this skirt now. Then I'll place the front part on the back part of the skirt. So now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to be dividing my hip by 4. Okay, you know, I'm cutting the front part and the front part is folded into 2 and the back part is also folded into 2 as well. So I'm going to be dividing my hip by 4. Now my hip by 4 is 9.25 plus 1 inch extra allowance. Okay, that is what will determine the amount of fabric that you're going to lay on your table. Okay, so now I'm going to be folding it this way to get my front hip measurement, because your biggest measurement will determine the amount of fabric that you're going to be cutting. So now I've done that. So what I'm going to do next is to impute my measurement. Okay, so the measurement I'm working with from my waist to hip is 9 inches. Okay, from my waist to hip is 9 inches. 9.5. I'm going to be adding half inch. That is for the joining. Okay, so half inch, that is 9.5 inches. So and the remaining part is the length of my the of the skirt. Okay, so now what I'm going to do next is this. I'm going to be imputing my waist measurement. This is my hip line. Okay, this is my hip line. So I'm going to be imputing my waist measurement. So the waist I'm working with is 7.25. That is the same waist measurement for your upper bodies, 7.25. Okay, then plus half inch for sewing allowance. Okay, now the hip I'm working with is hip of 9.25. Okay, 9.25, then plus half inch for the sewing allowance. So I'm going to be connecting it this way. Okay, make sure you don't have any sharp points here. So remember, we have 9.2. So what I'm going to do is this. Our hemline is going to be a pencil gown, so you can reduce 1 inch from your hip measurement or 1.5 inch from your hip measurement. So but for this, I'll be removing 1.5 inch. So that is 1 minus 9.25 minus 1.5 is going to be giving us um 7.5. So I'm going to be imputing the 7.5 here at the hemline, 7.5 here, and plus 1 inch sewing allowance. So I'll be connecting it all the way down. Okay, so our back is almost ready. So the next thing is at the waistline here. At the waistline here, I'm going to be coming down by to remove any form of smile lines. So I'm going to be coming down here by 1 inch. Then I'll just connect it this way. It won't affect anything, guys. So I'm going to be cutting it out now. Make sure you don't have any sharp points. Okay, if you have any sharp point, make sure you blend it in. But guys, know that I'm adding 1/2 inch here. Okay, if it is a non-stretchy fabric, please you can add as much as 1 inch or 1.5 inches depending on what you are comfortable with. I'm comfortable with not adding a lot of allowance on my fabric, so that is why I'm making use of 1/2 inch. Okay, but sometimes it's better for you to have more than for you to have less, so that if there is any issue along the line, you can easily solve it a bit. Okay, so guys, I'm going to be placing the front on the back. Okay, this is the back part. So what I did is I left I'm leaving 1 inch, that sorry, 1 inch zipper allowance here. So I'm leaving 1 inch zipper allowance here, the same inches that we added to our bodies. 1 inch here all the way down, 1 inch here. Okay, so this zipper allowance is okay. So I'm going to be cutting out the whole thing now. I want to cut my sleeve here. Okay, so I use the bicep measurement to determine how wide the sleeve would be. So after doing this, I want to cut my front and back equally. So I'll fold it into two and fold it into two again. Okay, so the sleeve length I'm working with is I'll leave 1 inch margin line here. Okay, so I'm going to be leaving a 1 inch margin line here. So all my measurements will start from here. So the sleeve length I'm working with here is 17.5 inches, then plus 1/2 inch hemming allowance. Okay, so I'll be coming down here by 4.5. Okay, so 4.5 plus 1/2 inch sewing allowance, that is 5. Okay, that is 5. So what I'm going to do next is to impute my bicep measurement. So my bicep measurement, that is your upper arm measurement. So the bicep measurement is 6.5. So I'll impute my 6.5 here. Now I'm going to be connecting it like this. Watch what I'm doing. I'm going to be connecting it this way. Okay, then plus 1 inch sewing allowance on the sleeve, 1 inch sewing allowance. Then my elbow is from my shoulder to elbow is 12 inches. Okay, so that 12 inches, my round elbow is 7. My round elbow is 5.5 inches. So this is 5.5 inches plus 1 inch sewing allowance here, plus 1 inch sewing allowance. I'm going to be connecting it like so. Now my wrist measurement, I'm making use of a sleeve. So my wrist measurement is 4 inches. So I'm going to be putting the 4 inches here, then plus 1 inch sewing allowance. Sorry. So I'll just connect it this way. Then I'm going to be cutting it out. Okay, here's our sleeve. So I'll fold it here now and show you guys what I did. What I did is this. I went ahead to cut my facing. That is, I cut the facing for the back the same way. That is, I cut the facing for the back. That is for the back. Now for the front, what I did for the front is this. I also cut the facing for the front. Okay, I also cut the facing for the front. This is what I did. Um, I've gone ahead to, this is my front skirt, okay, and this is my basket. So what I did is this. I've gone ahead to pin the zipper allowance that I joined, that I left for the back. So I'm gone ahead to pin. I hope you understand. So after pinning the zipper allowance, what I did is I placed them straight this way. Okay, I'm going to be placing them straight this way. That is good side facing good side. Okay, you can see the way I'm placing them. Okay, so we want to create that style line for our ruffles. Okay, so now what you are going to simply do is this. What you are going to do next is this. This is the hip line, abi. This is the hip line. Okay, so from this hip line here, you can do it. You can take the ruffle from whichever side you want it to be. It can be from here or it can also be from here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to create the style line. So I'm going to be connecting. I'm going to be rolling a line from this hip line here. That is for both the front and back. From this hip line here to the tip of the other end here. I hope this okay. I cannot use. So I'm going to be rolling. I'm using a free hand, so I'm going to be rolling it this way to meet this point. Okay, so we want to create our ruffle. So to meet, let me do that again. Okay, to meet this point. So what we are going to do next is to cut out this. We are going to cut out, but one after you are done cutting out, you are going to keep this piece down because we still need it at the end of everything. So let me cut out now so that you see how it looks like. Make sure you straighten the part. Let me roll it out so that you see. Okay, so can see the way it is. That is from your hip line. You're going to be starting it from the hip line here, okay? So from this hip line, you're going to take the style line from here. That is, you're going to roll a line from here, from this hip line here to the tip, to the hem of your skirt. That is to one side of your skirt for both the front and back. So I'm going to be cutting it this way. Okay, so what you're going to do is this particular part you're going to keep it aside because we still need it, so you keep it aside. Then we'll now work on the upper part. Now for the upper part we want to create the ruffles. So what you're going to simply do is this. So you're going to take your tape, you come down by 1 inch here. Okay, you're going to be coming down by 1 inch. Then you're going to be measuring from this point, from this 1 inch that you came down by. You're going to be measuring from that point all the way to this point, all the way. Okay, just watch what I'm doing. So now everything we have here is 33 inches. Now this is what I did. I measured from here. I came down by 1 inch. Okay. So from this 1 inch here, I measured from here all the way to the tip of this, to the end of this skirt here. So we're having 33 inches. So that 33, now to create our ruffles, you can multiply 33 inches by 2 inches by 2 or by 3 or by 4, depending on how full you want your ruffle to be. So for this class, I'll be multiplying my 33 by 2.5 inches. Okay. So 33 um by 2.5 inches. So the answer I get, I'll show you guys how multiplying it. I got 9 points. I got sorry, after multiplying it, I got um 84, approximately 84 inches. Okay, so I'll go to my cutting table now and measure out 84 inches wide and 14 inches long. So I'll be cutting it in two places. That is the 84 inches wide and the 14 inches long will be cut in two pieces. That is one for the front and also one for the back. Okay, so I will cut it now and show you guys. So guys, this is it. This is the one for the rough food. Okay, so what I did is this. I measure out 84 inches wide and 14 inches long. Okay, 84 inches wide and 14 inches long, and they are in two pieces. That is one piece for the back and one piece for the front. So I'll go to my sewing
So
machine now
guys,
and
I
sew
decided to use
a
needle
loose
and thread to form gathers on my fabric. So in case you don't know how to make use of needle and thread, you can see the way I'm doing in the video, okay? So that is how to use your needle and thread to form gathers in your fabric. So guys, this video is becoming too long, so I'll be uploading the sewing video later on. So do well to turn on your notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thanks so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye bye.